Harwich Port in Essex, a gateway to the world by sea with almost 1,000 lorries full of goods passing through here every single day. Border Force say they're doing all they can to stop the drug entering the UK shores, with suspicious lorries pulled aside to be scanned, searched by drug sniffer dogs, and then something more thorough.
Yeah, drop it.
The teams are taking these pallets off and starting to search through some of the contents to see what they can find. Ketamine seizures have hit a 15-year high in the UK, with Border Force taking 1,300 kilos of ket out of circulation in the first 3 months of 2026. That's the equivalent of 1.3 million grams worth prevented from being on Britain's streets. We've reported on, teens and young people who've been using ketamine before, some as young as 11 years of age. Does what's happening here try to prevent some of that from taking place?
Too many young people are getting hold of ketamine, taking ketamine, putting their lives at risk, and this job and the work that's being done here is so important.
Campaigner Amber Curra says the drug destroyed her bladder and left her with lifelong health issues.
It's horrific, and it's not just like the bits of pain that come with it, it's also the changing your pads constantly, thinking about where the nearest toilets are and having it on your mind 24/7, like that within itself is just as draining as the physical effects from it.
The government says it's still considering reclassifying the drug as Class A, which would mean life in prison for supply and production.
Now, our reporter George is with us in the studio alongside Amber Curra, who's been left needing major bladder surgery as a result of her former ketamine addiction. Amber, thank you very much for joining us. I want to start with you because a lot of people who've heard lots of drugs may not know enough about ketamine. When did it start for you? When did you get attracted to this drug? And what is it that people find so appealing to this drug?
So I was 17 when I first tried it, and I didn't like it when I first tried it, but I just kept on trying it. I just kept finding myself around it, and some people would be like, I have to try a little bit more, and then I'd end up...
like you'll be in a pub or a bar, so is that available?
It'd be more that I'd be at people's houses, parties, chilling with friends and stuff like that. I think people get confused thinking it's just like out in the club party drug when it's more of like an isolation at home drug.
Okay.
But yeah, when I was 17, that's when I started taking it, and then it just got worse over the next few years. And it was when I was about 21 that it got to the worst it was. I was taking it every day for 4 years straight.
And why? It was just the addictive nature of it, presumably. You would wake up in the morning and just think, I need this, or what did it feel like to you, the addiction?
The thing that was appealing about it was the disassociation. It was great to feel not normal. So that's why it was just something that I just could not stop doing. And obviously once you become addicted, you wake up in the morning, your brain's automatically telling you to go for that anyway. So it's hard to fight it as it is. And that's why it's so hard for people, because unless you have the support around you, it's really hard to do that on your own.
And then the physical problems are really vast and continuing for you. And you don't take it, obviously, anymore. You haven't taken anything for several years now. But that does not end the pain for you, does it? Stopping ketamine does not end the pain. And in a way, that's the major point you're trying to make. Just tell us about the physical ramifications for you ongoing.
Yeah, so I was 3 years clean last week, so 3 years.
Congratulations.
Well done. Thank you. And I'm still in pain every single day.
Are you feeling pain now?
Yeah.
What kind of pain is it?
So it feels like, do you know when you need a wee and you burst in?
Yeah.
It feels like that. I'm quite used to it by now because it's been nearly 10 years I've had this feeling for.
Okay.
But it's like when you have a UTI, so it's like you have a constant one. And yeah, it really is. I really struggle to put into words just how painful it is.
And that's because
it's
directly damaged your bladder and affected your bladder, has it?
Yeah. So it's shredded away my bladder lining and it's covered my bladder in scar tissue.
And you're having surgery?
Yes, I'm getting my bladder removed and I'm getting a new one made out of my bowels, which is crazy.
A new one made out of your bowels, so that means you wouldn't have to have a bag necessarily across your
No.
bag.
And this is why it's a better option for me so I can hopefully live a life that's as close to normal as I possibly can. And so that's why I'm trying this route first.
And they've said to you, haven't they, that I know you've got a daughter now?
Son.
A son, you've got a son now, sorry, yeah. But they've said to you that you probably won't be able to have any more children once you've had this. Are you prepared for that?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, it was a shock and I didn't expect it at first, but they said to me that once you've had the surgery, I would really look at having children before it if you're going to think about it, and that's just not possible for me right now. I couldn't physically not hold a baby, and I'm not in a relationship. But so he said to me that after it, it's just going to be so many complications, so many appointments, so many tests, and the baby could easily rupture my new bladder.
Well, this is utterly life-changing for you in so
Yeah.
many ways, isn't it?
George, this is the very human cost of the ketamine industry, but it is a multi-million-pound illegal trade, isn't it? And that's what you've been following.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I think, first of all, it's worth saying, like, Amber and other people that we've had on Good Morning Britain sharing their stories. It's so important, and obviously thank you for sharing your experience, because it's a lot. It is huge. We were invited down by the Home Office, so Border Force. I mean, it's something they're really cracking down on. So Harwich is just one of those locations right across the country where, in the first 3 months of this year, they've seized 1,300 kilograms of ketamine. So if you imagine, if someone was buying ketamine on the street or something, it might come in sort of 1 gram's worth. So imagine 1.3 million of those bags. That is how much they've seized already. So this is a big area for them, something they're really concerned about, and it's something they're looking to crack on down.
From?
Good question.
So these shipments that we filmed for this particular report were coming from Holland. But
So it's made in Holland, is it, this drug?
yeah,
It's
well,
put together?
the thing to remember for
And what
this
is it? It's like, isn't it? It was always thinking it was about horse tranquilizer or something.
yeah, so it's an anaesthetic, so it's used in medicine. So it is used kind of in a medical setting. So this is in kind of a liquid form, I guess. And that's the interesting thing to bear in mind, that maybe, I mean, you might be able to tell us this, why it's kind of seen by so many as perhaps not as dangerous
Serious as
a drug.
heroin or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I actually don't know, and I say this a lot, that it needs to get up to that level where you think of ketamine in the same way you'd think of heroin.
Is it a Class A drug, George?
So it is not a Class A, but this is the whole conversation that's going on at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's currently a Class B, so for possession you could get up to 5 years in prison just for having it on you. The government's independent expert panel in January said they don't think that it should become a Class A, it should remain a B. But all the sounds that we're hearing are potentially the government are looking to upgrade it.
And I think the issue with this, Amber, is, if I'm right, is that some of the other drugs can be quite expensive. This is relatively cheap. It's like £15 or something.
£10 a gram.
£10?
Yeah.
Sometimes 5 as well.
And
Yeah.
that gram for most people will last how long?
It all depends on the tolerance,
Right.
which does build up quickly as well. That's the thing with ket. You can.
I mean, that is considerably cheap, and that's part of the problem, isn't it, George? That you've got all this coming in, and actually they can sell it at a really cheap price. So how do you stop the consumption on such a mass level?
And the thing that stuck with me when we filmed last year up in the northwest, we were filming kind of around Liverpool, Manchester area, and one of the council leaders up there said this is cheaper for kids to go and buy than a can of pop and a bag of
Amber's
crisps.
nodding
And
vigorously.
that's the kind of thing that really stuck with me. And also it's interesting, the impacts maybe don't happen in the same way that maybe other drugs would. So there's a bit of a delayed response to your body and the bladder, and that kind of happens different to everyone. So if you're treating this from kind of a medical point of view, everyone as patients reacts differently.
Amber, I mean, what's your message to the government who are looking at keeping it at Class B? Is that correct? I mean, do you think turning it into a Class A drug would have changed anything for you? Would it?
I don't see how that's going to make a big difference.
Right.
I think it's more, why are people doing it? More funding needs to be available, more detox centres need to open, more rehabs need to open.
I suppose you want to stop kids from taking it in the first
Yes.
place. What do you tell young people?
I just say, look at someone like me and do your research, because there's a lot more out there now, and you can see what happens from it, and it is a bit inevitable. It will happen. Something will happen from it in the end if you're going to be taking it. So just do your research. And
Can I very quickly ask you, if there are parents watching, because I know sometimes parents don't realise this is happening and their children do. What signs should parents look out for? And if they do suspect, what advice would you give to parents on how they tackle this with their children? Because a lot of parents watching now thinking, I think my child, or I don't know if my child might be doing this.
Well, the first thing I would say is, are they weeing? Are they going to the toilet a lot more? Are they in the room a lot? Are they tired? Do they seem like they're slurring the words and things like that? They're the main things that I would. And do the eyes look dazed and a bit glazed over?
Okay. And then
That's really good advice.
And did your parents chat to you, or when you got through and you pulled through? Who was it in the end that sort of showed you the light, if you like?
It was actually a really close friend of mine. I did talk to my family about it, and they were very supportive in the end. Obviously shocked at first.
Absolutely.
But I had a really close friend called Rian, and she was really there for me, and she really supported me. She was by my side all the time, because I didn't actually go to rehab or anything. I honestly put it down to her being there for me all the time, helping me start.
She sounds like an amazing friend.
She is.
Let's
And I
clone
often
Rhian.
think in these situations,
Rhian,
it is about us looking out for each other, isn't it? When, you know, when we can see it sometimes in people we know that they've got an addiction, it's us to look out for one another.
And I can't stress enough how much people going through the same thing, being there for you can go such a long way. It really can.